Okay.
if that makes sense.
Um, yeah. Well, I think what I was trying to get at, and maybe this is my fault. I probably phrased it poorly. I guess how important is it to believe in things that are true,
Um,
as opposed to believing in things that are false?
hmm. I'm gonna contradict myself, but um,
What we're doing is called street epistemology. Is that something that you've ever heard of before?
no.
That's okay. Nobody has.
I'm
I,
glad I'm not the only one.
yeah, definitely not the only one. So, street epistemology is a conversational method where we talk to people about things that they believe are true and why they believe them to be true, and we examine whether they have a good reason to believe the things that they believe. Is that something you're interested in doing today?
I'm an open book.
You're an open book. Awesome. Cool. Um, I guess, is there anything that you think is true that's important to you that you'd like to chat about?
Um, Not on the spot.
Okay. Man, this glare is just crazy. You might have to move at some point. We won't move right now. We'll get through it. We'll do that. Okay. We don't necessarily have to talk about something you believe is true, especially on the spot. I don't want to put you on the spot.
Yeah.
How about would you like to talk about how you determine what is true and what is false?
Sure.
Cool. Okay. I guess before we get started on that, how much do you value believing in things that are true?
Um, I wouldn't say I 100% believe it because I don't think people believe in a specific truth 100% all the time,
Okay.
24/7. Um, I would say a good majority of the time,
Okay.
if that makes sense.
Um, yeah. Well, I think what I was trying to get at, and maybe this is my fault. I probably phrased it poorly. I guess how important is it to believe in things that are true,
Um,
as opposed to believing in things that are false?
hmm. I'm gonna contradict myself, but um, I think it's good to know what the truth is. Um, it would be nice to believe the truth, whether we like it or not, but it's not as simple as that, I guess you can say. I guess it really depends on what the topic is.
Okay.
Whether it's like something political, something environmental, or something as, I guess, scientific.
I gotcha. Okay. Um, are, is it kind of how important it is to you, whether you desire to really uh, value, whether you know it's have the truth on the matter? Is that kind of a factor? Is that
Yeah.
kind of what you're saying? Okay.
Mhm.
So, like, if you probably don't have a desire to know how many cards are in this stack, right? That's probably not very important. You don't care if there's 10 or 1000, right?
Mhm.
But if you wanted to know if like global warming, if you want to know if that's true, would that be something that you think would be important to know whether you are true with a belief on global warming or not? Okay.
I think it's more so how it impacts me, whether it is how it affects my life now, present, or past or future, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think so. I think so. So if it's something that you wouldn't change your behavior or you wouldn't do anything differently in your life, it's the truth of the matter isn't really important. Is that kind of what you're saying?
Do you mind rephrasing the question?
Sure. So if there's something that isn't really gonna change the way you do things, whether or not you believe, if you're mistaken about believing it to be true, something to be true in regards to it, that's it's not so important to you. But if let's say you're going to change your whole life based on this belief, you probably want to know that you're correct in the matter.
Yes.
Okay. Cool. What do you think the best way to determine what is true is?
I think, at least for me, is using reliable resources or outside perspectives that are not entirely biased, or trying to understand, say, like politics, for example, trying to understand where each position stands on what they believe in or where they're coming from.
So like taking both sides of the story.
Yes.
Right?
But also trying to make sure it's actual non-bias, which is difficult. So yeah.
Okay. I guess let's say we've somebody comes over and actually two people. One person believes A is true. The other person believes A is not true.
Mm-hmm.
And we listen to both their sides, both their perspectives, and we look up some resources. We get reliable resources, but one says A is true, the other one says A is not true. How should we figure out whether A is true or untrue?
I think more so at that point it's what you kind of believe personally is the truth. And I feel like it kind of how we shape our decision on what we believe is the truth is our values, what we believe in, and our overall life experience. But I think trying to say like this person's wrong because of this and they still believe that, well, I think it's, at that point it's like, well, you can give them all the facts in the world, but they're still set in stone. So it's like agree to disagree.
Gotcha. You might really like street epistemology. Usually I give a card at the end, but just so I don't forget, I'm going to give it to you right now. That's my channel. Here's a little keychain with street epistemology.
Thank you.
And because with regards to, right, you said people like stuck in their ways, right? And you can give them all these facts, and their mind will never change.
Not necessarily.
Right, sometimes.
I mean, it, I guess, kind of depends on the person. Each person's different. And each situation's different. So, I guess.
What I have found is that what you're describing, the phenomena of, giving all these facts to someone and saying, hey, you might be mistaken about this. Here's why. Here's a fact. Here's a fact. Here's a fact. Typically, people will not change their confidence in whether A is true or untrue. However, if you talk to them and you use street epistemology and you ask, hey, I see you believe A is true. What makes you believe that A is true? They'll give a reason, and then you can say, okay, why is this reason a reliable reason to get you to be 100% confident? And then they explain their reasoning, and you can say like, hey, if someone else uses the same reason and can they come to a different conclusion? And if they say yes, then a lot of times they reevaluate, am I using the best method to come to this conclusion? So I think you might find it really useful. So I just recommend looking into it.
Okay.
But all of that aside, you said that people kind of make a choice on their kind of life experience, and just
I think that's kind of like a factor.
okay, a factor. If we value believing in things that are true, should it be a significant factor?
I don't know.
Okay. Can life experiences lead someone to believe in something that they think is true but is actually false?
Yes.
Was it safe to say that life experiences sometimes aren't super reliable, unreliable? They don't always lead to truth?
Sometimes, but I think
Like it depends on what the
yeah.
experience is. So. If it was just like how that person grew up and maybe their parents' influence on them, would that be a reliable or unreliable way to determine truth?
I don't think it's necessarily reliable. I think how we grow up and our community and I just our experience growing up is really different compared to the next person or
Yeah.
But I think it's more so this is my experience, this is I don't know the best way to describe it.
That's okay. All right. Yeah, I think we got some good stuff going on here.
Okay.
I'll leave the question and the talking stick to you now, metaphorically. Anything you want to say or ask? Yeah.
In your own opinion, what is the ideal way to discover the truth?
Sure. I think it varies based on what the claim is, but generally speaking, I think if empirical evidence would be the very best on the top of the list, and then it kind of goes downhill from that. I think personal experience is usually towards the bottom, even though sometimes I'll use personal experience. But a lot of the things that I determine to be true, based on personal experience, aren't something that is highly important or will highly impact my life.
Yeah. I don't think I have any questions.
Okay, that's all right. All right, I already gave you the card and the keychain.
Well, thank you.
I think you'd be great in the SE community. We have a Discord. If you email me, I can send you the link if you're interested. If not, don't worry. Just don't email me. Or you
So
can
you
email
have
me.
a YouTube channel?
Yep.
So this is where it would be up on it?
Yep. The QR code I think should take you to the channel. I think that's where I made that code go. Otherwise, the URL is there.
Okay. So what kind of so you do kind of stuff like this, sitting down and
Yeah, it's not always in person. Sometimes it's online.
yeah.
with another person. But yeah, we do a lot of talks, sitting down, talking about either more abstract, like we did here, or about a specific claim.
Okay.
Yep. All right. Then Dawstin, it is.
Dawson.
Okay. DOSTI.
DAWSN.
That is a little different than what I thought. Okay. My bad. I misheard that.
It's okay.
Okay. Thanks for clarifying that in
Yeah.
chat.
Not a problem.
All right.
Probably contradicted myself quite a bit, but
Maybe. Either way,
All right.
that's all good.